Well, you know, it's my pleasure to be back again in the courtroom, and I'm here with newly appointed Circuit Court Judge Olu Stevens. How are you doing?
Fine. How are you, Max?
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
So what's it like? And, you know, in talking to you a little bit off camera, you tell me this is like a dream?
It certainly is. It's a dream come true. I'm overjoyed is an understatement.
Well, do me a favor, share your story, how you started and how you got to this point with our viewing audience.
Okay. Well, I was asked the other day, what did I first think about becoming a lawyer? And my mother's a lawyer, so she went to law school as a second career, and that's when I started thinking about the law for the first time. I was about 10 years old. And fast forward, when I got here in Louisville, I met Judge Janice Martin, and she asked me whether or not I was interested in being a judge one day, and I said, yeah, I think I'd like to do that. That was back in 1997.
All right.
So ever since that point, really every move I've made career-wise has been designed to get me to this point. And so when I say I'm overjoyed, I really mean that. It's been a career goal of mine.
All right, give us a little bit of your background. Where did you go to undergrad and grad school and law school?
Well, I'm a proud graduate of Morehouse College.
All right.
Graduated there, went to law school at George Washington University in D.C., and came here, arrived here in the Louisville area in 1996. And actually moved to Louisville in 2000. We were in Indiana for a while.
All right. Now, what brought you here to Louisville?
My wife, my beautiful wife, Ramonda.
Okay. I had to give a plug for your wife. Wanted to make sure I'm trying to keep you straight here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. And I appreciate that.
All right. Now, in relationship to making it to this point and, you know, actually having your dreams and aspirations to come true, how do you prepare for this opportunity?
Well, I've been fortunate because over the course of the last few years, I've gotten to know a number of the circuit judges very well and doing different things, not necessarily practicing in this court, but just seeing them out and about and being part of the legal community. So we've got a great group of circuit judges here who have been very welcoming to me and been shadowing them a lot. Been doing a lot of training, a lot of videos. I've been watching a lot of tape.
So it's kind of like a coach watching NFL tape or
exactly.
Training
film. It's game tape. It's game tape, and we get to rewind and see what the ruling was on this or that, and what the rationale was, and just how judges conduct their courtroom. And it's been very interesting to learn a lot from the different judges, and I'm continuing, obviously, to learn at this time, and just looking forward to getting started.
Now, in relationship to some of the judges that you said you've talked to that have been your mentors, who would be some of those judges?
Well, first, the first judge that comes to mind is William McAnulty.
Okay.
He was my role model. He was really the person that I looked to for advice, and I think about him often. Almost every day I think about him and miss him greatly. But I had the great fortune of meeting with him privately on a number of occasions, talking about this very moment, getting this opportunity. And I actually have page upon page of written notes from Justice McAnulty, where he was telling me these are the type of things that you need to keep in mind when you get there. So they're like a treasure now. I still have them.
Well, what are some of the, maybe one or two things that he maybe have shared with you that you can share with our viewing audience? Well,
first of all, I think one of the things he really stressed was just to remain humble. You know, don't get what he called judge-itis or robe-itis, if you will. Don't think too much of yourself because you're putting on a black robe. Always remember to treat people with courtesy, dignity, respect, and that's what he stressed. So that's what I'm going to try to do when I get to the bench. That's one of the most important things. And then also just being prepared every day, knowing what you're going to have to do, knowing that people are going to come before you in need of help, and you're going to have to be prepared to handle those cases. So those are two things that come to mind. There are plenty of others, but those are first and foremost in my mind right now.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with more with Judge Olu Stevens. Okay, we're back with Judge Olu Stevenson, and that's something I've got to get used to saying and addressing you as Judge. Because when I see you, you know, I think you're a friend. I think you just has a a dynamic personality. I think he ought to be on the cover of GQ every time I see him. You know, that's what
that's a compliment coming from you.
Every time I see him, that's what I think of. But in relationship to your style, as it approached to sitting up here someday soon, well, very soon, what's going to be your approach to that?
Well, we mentioned role models, and one of my role models is Benjamin Shobe. And Judge Shobe has a reputation, a fantastic reputation of being a gentleman on the bench, treating everybody with respect, letting people leave his courtroom with dignity.
Sure.
There's a story, and I think this is a true story because I've heard it so many times, that he sentenced someone to life in prison and they walked out and thanked him. So that's the person that I intend to emulate when I get on the bench in terms of my demeanor towards people. Treat people the same, whether they come into my court in an orange jumpsuit or they come in a suit that you and I might wear on any given day. So that's the goal, and you know, I intend to do that from the very beginning as I learn the other aspects of being a judge.
In relationship to the judicial system and our young African Americans that are constantly going through the process, you know, what is some advice that you can offer to someone, and I ask this to Judge Stringer, to someone that has to come through the system?
Well, I think that one of the things that I think we need to understand is that there are a number of African American, particularly males, that come through the criminal justice system. And from my perspective, I've always thought it important for our bench to be diverse. Not necessarily because I'm going to make a decision on someone based upon the race. I will not do that.
Of course.
But to the extent that that person comes before me and feels more comfortable with me by virtue of the fact that I look like them, and then they leave out of here with a feeling that they've gotten justice, in part based upon the fact I look like them, then that's a very good thing, I think, for our community. I think it's good for our system because it breeds confidence in our system, and that's what we want. We want people leaving here with a sense that they've gotten justice.
Now, you have to know that you are an inspiration to a lot of young people that are coming up as it relates to going into your profession. So what advice do you offer to that next generation of upcoming lawyers and judges?
Well, I would tell them this, that my story, if nothing else, it's a story about perseverance, that I really believe that, you know, you kind of give up on things sometimes. You think, well, it's never really going to happen. But if you continue long enough and you continue to work hard, it will. The story I'll share is when my wife, the day after the appointment, my wife took me out to dinner. Okay. And we went out to dinner, got off the elevator, stepped out, and the hostess greeted me and said, "Welcome, Judge Stevens, and congratulations." Wow. And that was really one of the best moments of my life. And it really taught me a lesson about perseverance, number one. Well, number one, it taught me a great lesson about prayer. It works. Okay. Number two, perseverance. So I would say you stay with it. There are going to be hills and valleys, but fight through them, and it's well worth it when you reach a career goal. And keep going. Just don't stop. Being a judge is not the end for me. Hopefully I'll get to the Court of Appeals and the Supreme Court. That's where I want to go.
Well, I really appreciate you spending some time with our Urban Lifestyle audience. And I know this is not your official plaque, but maybe we can use this maybe as a starting point.
Well, I will keep it. I will keep it on the bench with me. So, when I get my real name tag there, we'll replace it, and I'll keep that one right here.
Right. I will be standing here.
Just saying hello. Thank you, Max.
All right.
Appreciate
we'll
it.
See you.